John Sudworth, BBC News, Beijing.
Well, let's discuss this with Wang Huiyao, President of the Center for China and Globalization and an advisor to the Chinese government. He's in Beijing. Thanks very much for coming on the programme.
Thank you.
So do you think Donald Trump over the last 4 years has been good for China or bad for China?
I think initially President Trump has actually brought some hopes, because he's a businessman, he's more pragmatic, he's more business-oriented, and he's really said many times President Xi is his friend. But unfortunately, we can see that this has actually turned sour quite a bit because he launched a trade war. He actually also, he has many hawkish advisors, has actually launched many front of negative proposals or sanctions on China. So I think actually has turned down this atmosphere quite a lot. And, it wasn't the U.S. we used to know. It's more unilateralism. It's more American first. It's more, multilateralism is under threat and also undermined quite a lot. I mean, of course, in between, Sino-US relation has been badly damaged.
So given that, then, with this election, do you think it's better now for Donald Trump to stay in power or for Joe Biden from a China perspective?
I think it's both. They have their pros and cons, of course. For President Trump, he certainly will continue his success on the phase one, I believe, and he will carry phase two, phase three probably, and he will be more business-oriented again. I think he will be more relaxed compared with his first term, and he will be more pursuing American interests and particularly business interests. So for that one, I think China-U.S. trade negotiation will continue, and some progress can be made there. But on the other hand, because since he's surrounded by a lot of hawkish advisors, that we can also people with a military background or West Point alumni, things like that. It's difficult to see how the second term can be more focused rather than trade side. So,
okay, and what about Joe Biden? What implications do you think a win for him would have on China?
Well, I think for President hopeful Joe Biden, I mean, he's more from establishment, and then probably he'll be more surrounded by people who worked in the government, have a lot of experience with think tanks and academics and public formal civil servants. What I think he will do is that he will certainly reassert American leadership in the Western world. He as I said,
do you think? Sorry to jump in there, but do you think that is bad for China? Is it a zero-sum game? Do you think if Joe Biden does win and does do exactly as you said, does that mean bad news for China if those Western democratic values are reinforced?
Not necessarily. I mean, he could, for example, he wants to come back to climate change, the Paris Accord, which I think he needs China. I mean, U.S. and China being two largest polluters in the world, we have to work together. And second, he wants to come back to WHO. He wants to reform. Then that's also another front that China can talk with him. He wants to reform WTO, which is, again, China is the largest trading nation and can talk a lot. And he may want to come back to TPP, and China has showed interest to join TPP.
Okay.
So there's so multilateral fronts that China and the U.S. can talk.
Okay.
So I think if we keep talking, then things will get better, probably.
I see. And before I let you go, I have to mention, of course, COVID-19. Donald Trump very strongly blaming China at every available opportunity, it seems. What's your response to it? How do you think that your response to COVID-19 and Donald Trump's words about the role of China and it impacts on relations between the two countries?
I think there's quite a bit of misunderstanding there. This COVID-19 has hit us never before. Nobody knows what it was, and it was very surprising, and people were shocked. And take a bit of time to digest, diagnose, and get consensus, get expert confirmation. But once China realized it was deadly disease, they shut down 11 million city of Wuhan and 60 million of Hubei province, and shut down China for 2 or 3 months. And then they have actually developed methodology now is widely practiced around the world. Quarantine, social distance, massive tracing, and all those massive testing, which I think now that's China brought this under control. So So I think China was China's fault. I mean, the nature virus can attack any country. It just happened attacking China first.
Okay.
So I think it shouldn't really make China as a scapegoat for other countries not effectively handling the case. I think that probably needs to be rethinked about.
Okay, we have to leave it there. Thank you very much for your time and for coming on talking to us. That's Wang Huiyao. Thank you.
Thank you.